Right, well, this is a surprise. We're driving the Volvo XC90. Right, so we fitted a new pump, which is actually kind of two pumps really. Anyway, a very complicated fuel pump affair, and then the fuel gauge didn't work. Then we discovered that the new pump had a faulty float, so we took the float from the old pump, put it on the new pump, and everything worked. Now, since then, it's a couple of days later, and we've been driving the car around quite a bit, and touch wood, at the moment, it's working really well. The car does feel better. That's an encouraging sign, because it gives us an indication that maybe the whole problem was the fuel pump. So the car seems smoother. It certainly seems more responsive. We haven't had any of the problems that we had before, where the car suddenly wouldn't start, or it just died and then wouldn't start for a while. So I'm very hopeful now that we've cured the problem, and I'm doubly pleased that we managed to discover what was wrong with the fuel gauge, because frankly, we were given different opinions on it, when the truth was it was the actual fuel gauge itself which was faulty. And when you looked at the build quality of the new one compared to the build quality of the old one, there was a big difference. And you know, I heard a few stories. A few people have said to me that they've a couple of guys at a garage, and Volvo themselves being the people I'm talking about, but they said that they've had faulty fuel pumps. But something that Ben said about, you know, making sure that you buy the Bosch, you know, the original Bosch one, and not an aftermarket one, because they're not so good, the aftermarket ones. And I'm wondering, you know, I bought this one on eBay. It was in a Bosch box, but you know, you just don't know, do you? It was, I can't remember whether it was cheaper. It probably was, because I bought it on eBay, and I probably thought it was a good buy because it was a genuine one, but possibly it was not a genuine one. You know, it's just one of these aftermarket things reboxed as Bosch. I don't know. Wouldn't put it past it happening, but certainly the quality. I mean, either it's an aftermarket one, a copy, or Bosch have certainly reduced their quality control, which seems slightly unlikely, really. Anyway, the point is, we've now got the car, as you can see, running nice. It's a beautiful day. So all's well in the world. The blossoms are coming out, and we're all happy, eh?
Right, well, we're now trying to have some fires here to get rid of the rubbish and all the wood that we cut down when we trimmed this wood a few weeks ago. And it's a lovely day today. Everything's dried out a bit, and this is one great big heap of quite nasty woodland growth. It's all got thorns in it, and we've been trying to get this fire going. We're just going to try and rake this last lot here into the center of what was the fire. It's all going now. This area of wood is really quite nice now. There was a fence that came all along here near where that chipping machine is, and it came down here, but we took the fence away and cleared all the undergrowth, and all the brambles that had been growing. Cleared all that lot. In fact, originally you could walk along that path and that was about it. It's lovely now. It's quite open, and we've planted a few trees. That one with the flag on it is a willow. There's another willow there, and they are actually offshoots from the massive willow that we cut down around the corner of the river. So wherever there was a branch coming off of that, some of the trunks and main stems that we sliced them up, and we've planted about 30 willows. Right, well, that's coming on. We'll let that burn for 10 minutes or so and push it in together. Right, well, so what we're doing here with the Dodge is charging up the 6-volt battery. Get that going. And what I did do, we took off the, or Tom actually did it, he took off the old, there was a 12-volt battery over in that side there, and actually it had been utilized to hold up that pipe, but the water pipe there. But what we did was, we had it there originally to power the washer bottle, or the washer pump for the windscreen, which was a 12-volt pump. At the time I couldn't find a suitable 6-volt pump, so I put a 12-volt battery in. This is a 6-volt system, of course, so I put a 12-volt battery in just to power the washer pump, and then every couple of months I used to, if I remembered, I just top the battery up. But then I found this 6-volt washer pump and bottle reservoir, which is from a VW transporter. In fact, I bought a couple of them at the time, because at that time I had quite a few 6-volt cars. So that meant that I could do away with the 12-volt battery. But it'd been sitting there for on that tray there for a couple of years actually, just taking up space but adding a bit of extra weight to the car. And of course it was full of acid, so anyway, got rid of that now. So that was a job done. Anyway, we're charging the battery up. Then this car will be lined up for a good clean. Been sitting here for a couple of months, and of course it's going on the London to Brighton classic car run in a few months. It's also going on a drive to Cromer. I think we'll probably take this. This is North Norfolk coast, so it's got a few trips lined up this year. We were going to actually do a couple of jobs on it. One of them obviously is for Andy to come and fit the blower switch that I bought, the new blower switch. And the other job we were going to do was to actually drain the radiator and flush the system out, the coolant system out, replace the coolant in here. Probably no, I think actually we're going to service it as well. I've got a filter, so we're going to change the oil as well, so we'll give this a bit of a service before it starts doing any work this year. But it needs a good clean. So Tom learnt a good lesson today. Don't let me loose with the chipper, because I was responsible for jamming it up. Quite vicious machines, aren't they, really?
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Break your hand if you're not careful.
Yeah. You would think it would be a bit easier to take that off.
Yeah.
For something that, you know, to be done quite often.
Stage 1. Next stage, try and get these off. Open up there.
That guy made a big mess of it, didn't he? But actually, you need to clean it out quite regularly, really, don't you?
Yeah.
You should clean it out every time you use it, because there's always going to be a residue in there, isn't there?
There shouldn't be.
No?
It should throw it all out.
Oh,
You
right.
don't. Spin it freely.
Hell of a lot in there.
There we go.
Right, well, some days are obviously much better than others. Well, yeah, at least I find that. I'm sure most people do. So today was a much better day, completely. I've had a couple of drives in the Volvo, and I'm really pleased that it's still going. It's going very well, actually. Drive's really nice. And I decided to do something a bit decadent, really. I've booked a guy to come up here and give this car a valet. I don't mean a pristine clean, but you know, I suppose I just can't face cleaning it, really. There's so much to do. So I figured that somebody would come along, give the outside a really good cleaning, clean all the carpets and everything else, and almost like a new car then, really, to me. So that'll be that sorted, and I'm pleased with that. Then I can concentrate on some of my other cars. As far as the woods are concerned, we're trying to burn and get rid of about 3 or 4 big heaps of shrubs and brambles that we pulled out with a digger. So that's sort of a bit of a priority at the moment. So the next couple of days, that's what we're concentrating on. We got rid of one great big heap today, and now we're getting a bit of a better technique as to how to burn the stuff. We're tackling another big heap tomorrow. So that's that one. Because quite soon, and I'm thinking in the next few weeks, really, we will be starting work on this building here. And one of the first jobs will be taking off the roof that's on there. And that's a roof that's got, well, they're sort of concretey. They call them concrete with asbestos in them. So they have to be taken off in a certain way. They have to be stacked in specific skips and taken away, and has to all be certified. So that's a major job. There'll be scaffolding going up, and that's something that we'll be doing as the next stage, or the first stage, to reconstructing this building. So that will be an interesting project. So I'm converting
and turning this old kennel building of mine into 2 houses and 2 flats. So over the next whatever period that takes to do it, we'll be following the progress of that. In between all my cars. So anyway, so today was a bit more constructive. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Right, well, it's a beautiful morning here. Absolutely beautiful. It's early. Sun's rising. And I'm just walking up to have a look at how the fire ended up that we had yesterday, and we're going to have another one. But I had a phone call this morning from Ben at Bennicks, and the auction that they're having at the garage is taking place this Saturday, and Ben's been working hard for the last couple of weeks getting everything ready. Nick has been in hospital with an operation. I think he's just recovering from that. Whatever the operation was, he's not driving at the moment. Whoops, that was a pheasant that was in the bushes there that just flew off. So Nick is going down there. I'm going to go down and film probably tomorrow or possibly today, but I am going to be there at the auction on Saturday, and I'm going to film sort of a record of it for Ben to keep. But I'm also going to film, and I'm going to do a video that's going to be dedicated to Bennicks. So that's a project that I'll be working on in the next few days. Also, I'll have to film tonight because my wife is doing a talk on husky racing tonight, so I'm going to film that. I might put a few highlights of that on maybe. Anyway, so that's what's happening with Bennicks. This is the remains of the fire, so, oh look at that, that root is still actually smouldering. That's been sort of burning all night. So, quite interesting. I think we might be able to rake that up and try and burn the rest. Well, it's beautiful here. I feel a bit sad about Ben because, you know, it really is an end of an era for him. And I know how it feels because I went through the same thing myself when I closed my boarding kennel that I'd been running for 17 years, and as you've seen from some of my videos, we've actually destroyed the building now, and we're going to rebuild it. It'll be eventually be houses. Other people will be living there. Anyway, onwards and upwards, or upwards and onwards, whatever the saying is, I guess is all we can say. So another day starts here. Right, well, we finally got the fire going, and yeah, that's better. Get rid of the last of this lot, and then I can start another fire. Oh dear, it's just nothing but fires. I mean, there's something nice about burning fires, and you know, a lot of people enjoy it, but it's taking up so much time. It's about the only way we can clear this lot of rubbish that we've pulled out of the woods. I mean, all that's clear now, and before it was just, well, that was all just a massive brambles, really, and it's lovely now. But I've got to cut this lot here today. Try and keep all this down, keep it more open, this area. And that fire is very hot. Hopefully we'll get it sorted. Anyway, back to the next project today. Oh, I'm so happy about this car. This feels like a new car to me. I mean, right, I'm getting it valeted, so it's going to end up being really clean. Nice clean wheels, shiny body, nice clean interior. At least that's what I hope. And look at this. This is my new car. Right, look at that, starts instantly. Whoops. I've got this auxiliary radio by now. Now obviously, we've still got the problem here that I had. This radio in the car went wrong. The actual radio unit is up in the roof at the back. Down here is just a control unit. So the problem, we think, is up there, and I don't know, last year sometime we tried to fix it, never got anywhere. Volvo are talking about massive amount of money, like £800 or something for new radio, and there's a couple of guys that fix Volvo radios, but they don't fix the one for this car. So there's obviously some problem with this radio. And hang on. So we decided in the end to do away with this radio, just ignore it, and I fitted a second radio in the dash there, which works through the speakers. The only trouble is you have to turn it on and off under there, but you know, if you're on a journey and you want the radio on, it's not such a big deal. So that's that. And the other thing is, of course, because we took the back seat out, we've got the airbag warning light come on, which we can't get off. So the little reader, engine reader or whatever it is called, that I bought, that we use to read the faults, that won't allow us to clear that airbag fault, I suppose, because it's some safety issue. So we've got to take the car probably to the Volvo dealer and pay them some exorbitant sum of money just to plug the car in and to get rid of this airbag warning that's come up. But other than that, the car is good. Look at it, it's running. It's ticking over beautifully. Give it a rev. Smooth as anything. Now, you know, it really was not quite as smooth as that prior to fitting the new pump. So, yeah, it was the pump that was wrong, I hope. I'm saying it with great confidence now as the days are going by. Okay, so much for the Volvo. Right, so we've got another fire going here. Right, so we've managed to get most of it in the middle there, and now what we're going to do is just bring a digger up here at the moment and just shove it into one great big heap. Try and let that burn off tonight, then we can level off this area tomorrow with some of this earth here. We'll pull some of this topsoil in over the top of the remains of the fire, and that will sort this area out. And then tomorrow we'll work on that heap of rubbish over there. It's got to be burned. We've got a pump working over there, still pulling water out of somewhere. There's water down here in this pump that's up in this trench. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's pulling water out of there. So it's coming in from all of the land all around here. You know, when you dig a trench, it's acting as a sort of sponge, really. Right, well, Tom's trying to get the digger. Here he comes. Do is try and burn all that lot, and then tomorrow we will hopefully have a load of rubbish, or not an awful lot, mixed up with the wire, and with the digger we'll collect the wire push it into one bundle if we can, and then move it down to a place where we're keeping all the metal ready for collection. Right, so I've got to kind of get ready because I'm going to film my wife talking about huskies tonight. If there's anyone who knows about huskies, it's my wife. Well, you know, wives know about everything. No, but she does. We've had huskies for over 30 years, 35 years probably now. Raced them for most of that time, for about 30 years. And ran a boarding kennel, so we're pretty or reasonably clued up on it, so that should be interesting talk. Right, we'll do that then. Right, well, here's the setup that I've got for filming this talk tonight. This is my Panasonic video camera, which I'm going to use for that. This is good for that sort of thing because you set it up and it will run for 2 or 3 hours with a big memory card. This actually, you can put this takes 2 cards, so you know you can put in maybe 4, 5, 6 hours of media content in there. These batteries will run for about 3 hours. Obviously an extra battery, but even a single battery will run for about 3 hours. So once you set it up, you just leave it running. It's ideal. So the microphone is set for telly, that's sort of extended. It's picking up sound from farther away, so in front of you. So if somebody's talking, that's really good. So that's the microphone. I've got a monitor up here which gives you a bigger picture and sort of a lot of focusing details and everything. But obviously it's the same down here. And then I've got another camera with a microphone up above, a Sony one here, which is quite a good camera actually, and I'll have that running at the same time. That way I've guaranteed to catch everything, just in case there was a problem. I mean, they're very similar cameras in a way, that this one here has kind of got most of the features that this one's got, really. This one won't run as long. This one actually has got a projector built in, not that I use it. But, I've had both of these for quite a while and don't tend to use them too much. They're only really suitable for this type of situation, because normally I use action cameras for the type of thing I'm filming at the moment. But for static work, filming displays or filming talks, these are ideal. So it's all set up and ready to go. So we'll just take that down tonight and that should be it. Right, well, the end of the day here. Before I go off to this talk, I just have a look at this Dodge. Right, we've had it on charge for 2 days, and the battery charger says it's full up. Okay, so this 6-volt battery. Right, so we got choke out, ignition on. Give it some pumps here. Let's see what happens. Oh, no, that's pretty good, isn't it? Right, choke in. Choke needs to go in almost instantly on this car. Now I've got the hand throttle out, pulled out from the last time I had it, so it's running. Well, that started pretty good, and it turned over really quickly. So that's the job done, I guess, eh? Hang on, put that throttle in a bit. Those hand throttles are brilliant. Alright, that's down to a nice even tick over. Now that's really quiet. I mean, there seems to be a lot of noise, but it's nearly all coming from the fan. The actual engine is quiet as anything. So actually, now that engine really needs a good clean. So I think when we clean the Mercedes engine, we'll do this as well. Right, I think I better go sort myself out for this talk. But at least the Dodge is ready to go. That's good. Put the Jag back there where it lives. Tomorrow we'll get on with some more burning of wood. So here we are. Set up, we're early. Finally got here in the club. This is where the buffet's going to be. And I think I'll sit and have a drink.
Anything else, the dogs can actually run further on snow because they don't get the pounding in their joints that you get on hard, dry ground. But also, the big difference is obviously what you're using as a vehicle, and the sled is the most